Regarding the elections that happened today, it's really great to see all of you being so engaged. As you know, we started this kind of procedure of sending the list prior to the event to our members who would like to get elected and are unfortunately not here a year ago. So it still has some flaws. And I know it got a bit messy today, but we are trying to improve that, and we would just like to thank everybody who volunteered and nominated somebody or accepted on their behalf. That was the first thing. The second thing was set up. So I think that's all. Yeah. Okay. So, with that, the second thing is regarding the nominations for expo positions. If a person who wants to get nominated for expo position does not get nominated, they also need to state if they would like to be then run, if they would like them to run for another position, depending on, like, if they held an official position before, they can run for trust as well. If not, they can go for a representative and secretary. Sorry. So yeah, keep that in mind. So if somebody asks you to get them elected or something, that a person is not here, it would be good to know what is their second choice. In the end, they can also decide not to run for anything. Like only to get the position, go get it, and then they can decide not to run. And the third thing we decided, since it's very, very dark in here, for the presentations, we are going to leave it like this, but then when the discussion comes and you do not need to see the presentation, I'm going to turn this light on, just because I write in Google Sheet and it's really hard for me after some time to see you and so that's it. Okay. All of that being said. I would like to pull this meeting back to order at 2:07 UTC on this body. First topic on the agenda is roll call and organizations, and that goes to our SG. Oh, we need to.
Hi everyone, I'm Ms. Uma, bidding number 26. For this roll call, I'll ask you to, as yesterday, to stand up and for this time say in your language, give me a pick.
Can you repeat, please? You need to say in your language. Oh.
Come sono gli italiani? Jacopo, lo sai?
Can we start?
Com'è?
Okay. IVSA China,
Tinjoksu,
IVSA Czech Republic,
Moche.
IVSA Denmark,
What was that?
IVSA France, IVSA Germany, IVSA Greece, IVSA Guatemala, IVSA Hungary, IVSA IVSA Italy,
Porcellino d'India.
IVSA Mexico, IVSA Morocco, IVSA Nepal,
Ma sei sicura che non si
IVSA Norway, IVSA Peru, IVSA Romania, IVSA Slovenia, IVSA South Korea, IVSA Sweden, IVSA Switzerland, IVSA Netherlands, and IVSA USA. Okay, so we have quorum and we are at 52.50. Thank you.
I just remember what I wanted to explain, so I will explain it now. There were some questions as to why do you need to state your name and member organization and fitting number. And this is because, first of all, we have very diverse names, all of us, and our Secretary General needs to write it all down. So what we did is we have your bidding number that is connected to your name, basically, and when we know the bidding number, Secretary General can search for your name, so they can write it correctly in the minutes, because our Secretary General is writing everything we are saying here. So that's why you need to say it all. I hope that is. So now we can move to the nominations for the Executive Committee for 2024-2025. Are there any nominations? Michelle?
Michelle Berneman, IVSA USA, bidding number 45. I would like to nominate Halima Muhammad from IVSA Nigeria for secretary.
Is there anybody who will accept?
Secretary General.
Michelle, did you mean Secretary General?
No secretary. Secretariat.
Oh, okay, then this is out of order, and we are going to discard it and continue. The next one is Jar. In the back. This one, Jar.
Anastasia IVSA within number 71. I would like to nominate Susan Ayo IVSA Nepal for the position of committee coordinator.
Isha.
Ishan Acharya, IVSA India, bidding number 38. On behalf of Susan, I accept the nomination.
Does any of you know if Sushan wants to go for another position if he doesn't get elected for CC? Hajar? Okay, please check that. Then Kara?
Tara Cisnik, IVSA Slovenia, meeting number 6. I would like to nominate Eda Sever from IVSA Turkey for the position of PRC. And I don't know yet what's her second.
Okay, so is there anybody to accept?
Florian Schilling, IVSA Germany, bidding number 60. I will accept whenever you want.
Are there any other nominations? Nico?
Nigolino Mikulakua, IVSA Denmark, bidding number 77. I would like to nominate Tammy Guan for the position of member organization director.
También Negrona Basic Peru, writing number 96, I accept. Trustee.
Okay. Sara?
Sarah Chesney, IVSA Slovenia, number 6. I would like to nominate Cristiana Ololare Olamviti for position of ERO.
Is there anybody? Isha?
Chanacharya, IVSA India, bidding number 38. On behalf of Christiana, I accept.
She doesn't want to run for other positions.
Thank you. Any other nominations for executive committee? Seeing none, the nominations are now closed and will be open for J3. We are moving on to the nominations for chairs of standing and candidate committees and networks for 2024 term. Tammy?
Tammy Negron, IVSA Peru, writing number 96. I would like to nominate Nadia W. from IVSA Indonesia for the position of chair of the Standing Committee on Work Health.
Is there anyone?
Sarah Chesney, IVSA Slovenia, number 6. I accept on her behalf.
Just a reminder that these two mics cannot work at the same time. That's why we are getting problems. Keep that in mind. Michelle?
Michelle Merman, IVSA USA, getting number 45. I would like to nominate Jerry Hope Odonsi from IVSA Nigeria for Alumni Network Chair.
Is there anyone? Jesus?
Jesus Hernandez, IVSA USA, bidding number 66. I accept on her behalf.
Vicky, like.
Whitney Shires, IVSA USA, bidding number 42. I would like to nominate Esther Mo, IVSA Nigeria, as chair of SCOH.
One help. Is there anybody who will accept on their behalf? Michelle?
Michelle Merman, IVSA USA, bidding number 45. I accept on her behalf.
Jacopo Filippini, IVSA Italy, bidding number 34. I would like to nominate Sinaya Keaton, IVSA USA, bidding number 26 as the chair of Standing Committee on Wellness.
Sinaya Keaton, IVSA USA, bidding number 56, I accept.
Florian Schilling, IVSA Germany, bidding number 60. I would like to nominate Titilayo Ayodele from IVSA Nigeria for the standing committee, for chair of standing committee of animal welfare.
Anybody? Mariana?
Ariana Zamora, IVSA Peru, bidding number 118. I accept on her behalf.
And Peters, IVSA Germany, bidding number 15. I would like to nominate Upendra Chauhan from IVSA Naples for the position of Chair of Standing Committee of Veterinary Education.
Is there anyone who open that?
Nurchawan, IVSA Nepal, bidding number 093. I accept the nomination.
Okay, so Alejandra Vargas, IBS, member of organization IVSA Peru, bidding number 105. I am nominating Neha Sunil from IVSA India for the position of Chair of Standing Committee on Wellness.
Is there anyone?
Bianca Teodora Gusto, IVSA Romania, bidding number 5. I accept her behalf.
And the petition?
Ishan Acharya, IVSA India, bidding number 38. I would like to nominate Meera Valvatkar from IVSA India for the position of Chair of Standing Committee on Wellness.
Anybody to accept
Upendra Chauhan, IVSA Nepal, bidding number 093. I accept on behalf. Upendra Chauhan, IVSA Nepal, bidding number 093. I would like to nominate Chinmay from IVSA India for the position of the Standing Committee on Animal Welfare.
Anybody to accept?
Andrei Popa, IVSA Romania, bidding number 11. I accept on their behalf.
Magda Papaliu, bidding number, IVSA Greece, bidding number 032. I would like to nominate Sanskar Delkar from IVSA India for the position of Chair of Career Ethics Committee.
Anybody to accept?
Ishan Acharya, IVSA India, bidding number 38. I accept on his behalf.
Seeing none, the nominations are closed for today. Against Norway G. We are moving on to the nominations for regional representatives. And are there any nominations for regional representatives?
Ishan Acharya, IVSA India, bidding number 38. I would like to nominate Donat from IVSA Rwanda for the position of Regional Representative of Sub-Saharan Africa.
Is there anybody to accept on his behalf? Hajar?
Hajar Sedi, IVSA Morocco, bidding number 71. I accept on his behalf.
Anybody else? Seeing none, the nominations are now closed and will be open tomorrow at 8. We are moving on. I didn't even say. We are moving on to nominations for secretaries. Go, Amy.
I've been practicing the pronunciation all morning, sorry. So, hi, Alejandra Vargas Zabaleta, IVSA Peru, bidding number 105. I would like to nominate He Won Yang from IVSA South Korea for the position of secretary.
Haewon Jang, IVSA South Korea, bidding number 50. I accept the nomination.
Grattis Svensson, IVSA Norway, bidding number 7. I would like to nominate Kamyar Eskandari from IVSA Greece for secretary.
Is there anybody from Yamaka?
Magda Pariu, IVSA Greece, bidding number 032, I accept on his behalf.
Portfolios from IVSA the Netherlands, bidding number 63. I would like to nominate Sapana Kafle from IVSA Nepal for the position of secretary.
Anybody to accept? Oh, you can.
Joost de Vesse, IVSA the Netherlands, bidding number 29. I accept on their behalf.
IVSA Netherlands, bidding number 36. I would like to nominate Prashana Rahal from IVSA Nepal for secretary.
Whitney Chavez, IVSA USA, bid number 42, I accept on her.
Michelle Brennan, IVSA USA, bidding number 45. I would like to nominate Halima Muhammad from IVSA Nigeria for secretary.
Anybody to accept? Oh, Jesus.
Jesus Hernandez, IVSA USA, bidding number 66, I accept the nomination. On their behalf.
Let's give Florian because he's having his hand for a very long time.
Florian Schilling, IVSA Germany, bidding number 60. I would like to nominate Ryan Square from IVSA India for secretary.
Ishanacharya, IVSA India, bidding number 38, I accept on his behalf.
And then we have Janet Bishop. Yeah. Whichever direction.
Michael Feld, IVSA Netherlands, bidding number 36. I would like to nominate Si Lin from IVSA Taiwan for secretary.
Paula Kovinke, IVSA Germany, bidding number 70, I accept on her behalf.
And then I think it's Michelle.
Michelle Brennan, IVSA USA, bidding number 45. I would like to nominate Oguntona Jeremiah from IVSA Nigeria for secretary.
And accept.
Sanaya Keaton, IVSA USA,
I accept on her.
I accept on her.
Carol Liddell, IVSA France, bidding number 3. I would like to nominate MD Rifayat Hossain from IVSA Bangladesh for the position of secretary.
And accept.
Tara Tusnik, IVSA Slovenia, bidding number 6, I accept on his behalf.
Anybody else? Seeing none, the nominations are now closed and will be reopened tomorrow at 8:03. And we have trust, nominations for trust. Seeing none, nominations are now closed and will be open tomorrow again. We have usually 6 trustees, we got 9. So yeah, still time. Then we are moving to the nominations for 75th IVSA Congress. Any nominations for the 75th IVSA Congress? See none. Nominations are now closed and will reopen tomorrow at 8:00. And then we are moving to the events and task force. That would be wonderful. I don't know.
José IVSA Morocco, one. Today I will to you the work that the Events Inclusivity Task Force has been working on for this half term. In Indonesia, presented what we have been working on the first half of the term, and we will be presenting all the work we have done since then. And so before I start my proposal, and as we gather here to discuss today the proposal for the events inclusivity, I would like to ask you all to step out of your own shoes. I want every one of us to put themselves in the shoes of our diverse community, taking into account all the challenges that many of our members are facing, because we have the privilege right now to be meeting here, to be participating in this event, while many of our members often, unfortunately, do not have this privilege. You know that during the pandemic, we witnessed an increased participation from some animals that never had the opportunity to do so after we stopped having the online events. And these members during the online events that we had for the first time the opportunity to take part of our events, to participate in the decision making of this organization. And as we return back, they no longer have the opportunity to do so. Inclusivity is not just a word, not just something that we talk about, it is a commitment, and it is our duty to take it into account and to think about all our diverse communities before making any decision, because we all believe that every member has an equal opportunity to contribute to this community and to be heard. So today, as we stand here to discuss this proposal, which is a very topic for the future of our organization, I would like for all of you to think out of your own perspectives. Of course, we are always taking into account our own perspectives, but I would like you to listen to this proposal with an open heart and mind, considering not only your own experiences, but also all the barriers that are faced by all our members all around the world. So this is the introduction for this proposal. I'm showing here the timeline of how our work has been done. We noticed after COVID, as I was mentioning, but also in general, that there is a lack of representation of some regions in our global events. So in the 72nd IVSA Congress in Denmark, there was a GA resolution to create the IVSA Events Inclusivity Task Force at the beginning of this term. And in Indonesia, in the symposium, we had a proposal with that was evaluating how to create more diverse and inclusive GAs. And the GA vote then was that we should proceed to work more on the online symposium, and there was a GA resolution to focus on the online structure, which we are going to discuss now and present and talk about. Don't worry if you're not really sure about all the stuff that was in the first half of the term, because in my presentation, I will be talking briefly about everything. So this is just the task force members of the Events Inclusivity Task Force, which I would like to thank for all the work they have done this year. Unfortunately, most of them are not here, but we have here with us today Florian, Tani, and Susanna. I would like to thank all of the members for all the work they have put into this proposal. And this is our general objective. So our general objective with the idea that we have of improving the economic structure is to be able to reach 40% representation of animals per region. Like based on our bylaws, we already have that we need to have quorum based on 40% of active animals. With this idea in mind, we wanted to find a reasonable objective that we would like to achieve with the change in structure. So we were thinking of what would be our goal for now is to be able to reach 40% of representation per region, which would translate in the number of animals we have to 6 animals in the Americas region, 5 animals in the Asia region, 14 in Europe, 3 in MENA, and 5 in Sub-Saharan Africa. So a total of 33 animals attending the events. This is the plan of action we had this year. On the first half of the term, we analyzed previous data, we created an animal data taking into account 10 the but we focused on 6 years, since it is like an IVSA generation, and it is the most what is the average number of years a student spent in veterinary school. We also used evaluation forms from the previous events that were accessible to us, and we also gathered members' opinions throughout a survey that had more than responded to it, and a total of 4 responses from our members. We also organized 3 focus group discussions to go through everything, discuss with our members and hear their opinions, and then we established the proposal taking into account structures, a live scenario, an online scenario, and a hybrid scenario, and we analyzed it our budget. On the second half of the term, we, since the vote in Indonesia directed us toward the online symposium, we worked on the online proposal. So we conducted the survey to check which platform was the most available. We checked also the time availability of the members. We worked on the aspects of the development fund through the Internet Core project and the online fundraising. And we also treated the social online activities. We also prepared evaluation and events guidelines, as well as bylaws that will be discussed later. This is showing us the animals representation in the last 6 years. So we have a total of 21 animals that never attended a live event within 18 animals. 6 animals have only participated in online special general assemblies. And from the 21, we have the numbers for the different regions. So 7 from the Americas, 2 from Asia, 3 from Europe, 1 from MENA, and 8 from Sub-Saharan Africa. We have a total of 8 animals that only attended live events when there was some specific circumstances. 2 of them were because there was some travel grants, and 5 of them were because there was an event that was held in their region or their continents, and 1 animal combined both circumstances, so a travel grant and the events being held in the region. And there was also a total of 10 animals that had very low attendance from 0 to 1 events that ended up turning inactive and then terminated. From them there was 3 from Sub-Saharan Africa, 3 from Europe, 2 from MENA, and 2 from Asia. And there was also the issue that we had that there was the region of Oceania that had only 1 animal that was also concerned by this, but that participated in 3 of our online special general assemblies, which was not able to participate in the live events actually. And here in this table, I am showing you the percentages of attendance by region over the live events since we started having them after COVID. The percentages here are not the quorum, so not the active animals, but the total out of all the animals we have per region. And as we can see, for example, Sub-Saharan Africa, they never meet this objective. They have 1, 0, 0, and like 2 attendances. And in these, like in Brazil, there were 2 animals attending because we had the travel grant. In the MENA region, it is almost similar as well. We had 3 animals in Brazil because also we had the travel grant. But besides that, the objective we would like to achieve was never met. In Europe, it is getting more difficult to get more MLs depending on the number of MLs you are having. And also Quorum is like we're having the problems of reaching Quorum more and more. In Asia, we also have some differences depending on where the regions were held, and in the Americas, besides Brazil, the objective we would like to achieve was also environment. And this is here to show you the total number of MLs that attended the events from South Korea, from the 67 symposium in South Korea until the conference in Peru. As we can see, the number of MLs attending the special general assemblies, so the online general assemblies, was higher in comparison with the one we have for the live events. We can see that we have easily 50 MLs or plus 40 MLs attending the online events, while in the live events, we are like now struggling with 23 MLs. When we do well, we are reaching 30. And in the table next to it, I'm showing just the details per region. And as you can see, for example, for Sub-Saharan Africa and the MENA region, we almost have all of the MLs attending many events in a row when we had the online events. And with these numbers, we are actually reaching the 40% regional representation that we would like to achieve in the future. This is also to show you the member involvement and attendance. In here, I take into account the 2023-2024 term. From our officials, we have 40 officials. Only 16 attended the symposium, from which 8 are EXCO, and you all are probably aware that EXCO have all their travel expenses covered during these events. So it's like only 8 officials were able to attend the event, and 15 for Peru, from which 7 were EXCO. For the committee and network members, we have a total of 102 members, from which only 18 were able to attend the event this year, and from which there was some officials, as well as the fact that 4 of them were from the host panel where the event was organized. And in regional teams, in MENA, Sub-Saharan Africa, and the Americas, there was no attendance. In Europe, there was 2 delegates. In Asia, 2 delegates, from which 1 was from a host panel. For the events inclusivity task force member, in Bali, we had 3 members attending, from which 1 was an official, which is also a person that is getting a partial reimbursement to attend the live events. And for Peru, we are having 4 members, 1 of which is an OC member, so this is their country, 2 are officials, and from these 2, 1 is an external. So here I'm going to remind you briefly about the proposal that we discussed in Indonesia. We tried evaluating 3 structures. The online proposal, which is switching the symposium to an online symposium and keeping the congress as a live congress. The hybrid proposal, which was to try to find a way to have an online and in-person component to the same events, including the regional rotation. And the live proposal, which is keeping the 2 events live and also implement the regional rotation. And there was also some overall improvements that were recommended, such as the preparatory meeting at the beginning of the GA to prepare delegates better for the GA, prepare clearer guidelines, and also one of the most important things is to have a continuous evaluation through surveys and also through collecting input for GAs, even from non-attending animals. So sharing the topics before the GA, even with the animals that are not able to attend the actual GA. And in the online format, overall, it is accessible, affordable, because there is no more expenses. Actually, we have some savings from it. We have previous experience organizing it since we organized for online events, and it makes the 40% regional representation achievable. However, there is still the technical issues, challenges that may happen, and the face-to-face interaction. For the hybrid format, this potentially could make the 40% regional representation achievable. However, there will be an imbalance between online and in-person delegates. There is a big problem with the time zone complexity because you need to adapt to the host country, and all the other regions also need to adapt to it, as well as technical issues. And there is an increased expenses and workload because the hybrid events costs a lot of money because we do not guarantee having our budget. For the live format, the regional rotation strives for inclusivity. However, travel grants are dependent on sponsorship support, and thus the challenge related to financial constraints and visa issues persist. In Indonesia, the GA voted for which would be the preferred course of action for the task force to focus on, and it was an online symposium with a majority vote of 63.4%. So here I'm going to present to you the online proposal. Normally you have access to all the documents with all the details. In the itinerary, it is planned that we have a 5 days event from 12:30 to 6 UTC plus 0 over 3 weekends. The first weekend, it will be only on Saturday. We will have the preparatory meeting for the GA, the social activity, committee workshops, and people meetings and lectures. And in the second and third weekend, we will have GA plus social activities. There is planned one social activity time slot per day lasting 30 minutes. And in the proposal, you will find some examples of the different activities that can be done to make delegates get more involved with each other in an online setting. Some examples are team trivia quizzes, online challenges, virtual tech shops. And one thing that we considered when making this itinerary is that from 4 to 6, we are trying to put in the GA agenda topics such as attended events and professional reports to avoid topics that require a lot of discussion or vote, because even though we are using the time zone UTC plus 0, like by the end of this timeline, it is still late in the Asia region. So we try to take this into account by trying to put the topics that don't really require a lot of discussion and vote at the end of the sessions. Regarding the platform, we conducted a survey to check which platforms are the most available within the within the countries we have angles in. And after the survey, we found out that Microsoft Teams was the option that was not expressed as a platform with unavailability in the countries. So it is the most available. There is no extra expenses for us because we already have Microsoft Teams and we already use it for many other things. We use it for our expo meetings, we use it for online FGS, so we have experience working with it. And it has a capacity of up to 1,000 participants, so it will not limit us in number, regarding the number of delegates we need to have. Regarding the time period, we would like to propose to move the time slot there is in the bylaws dedicated for the symposium to from late December to late February to late December to start of March. So we are just expanding it since now the event will need a total of 3 weeks. It's 3 weekends, but it needs 3 weeks, so we are expanding the period a bit. And regarding the survey we conducted, we found out that late January to start of March was the period that was the period in which members were the most available. However, there were concerns that some people have different academic schedules or some cultural activities that take part in different periods according to the year. So what we suggest is that the online organizing committee needs to conduct a survey before each online event to have a better and a more accurate time availability of the delegates for when the event is planned, and then decide based on this, but respecting the period late December to start of March, an ideal time for the online symposium. Regarding the online organizing committee, we would like to propose that the president of the online organizing committee should be elected by the GA 1.5 years in advance, because we already for the live events elected MO 1.5 years in advance. So here, since we are having an online organizing committee, we would like to elect the president. And then the president will, alongside the professionals, will open a call for the other members of the online organizing committee. Their screening will be done by officials, so by the MOB team. Screening means just to make sure that all the members of the online organizing committee are actually real members of IVSA. And the selection will take place like it will be decided by the president of the online organizing committee as well as the MO team. And we will have 4 different teams: the delegates affairs team, the documents team, activities team, and the public relations team. We already have no C manual dedicated for online events that was done during COVID, and that has been that is taken into account for the previous experience we had. And this is also detailed in the proposal. We already have the structure of the online organizing committee, and 6 months prior to the event, there should be in the Congress prior to it a presentation of the members of the online organizing committee, the dates of the event, the maximum number of delegates, the platform if needed. We are just mentioning it here because even though we recognize Microsoft Teams, you can see that our approach is to keep evaluating this approach during the whole evaluation period. So if during the evaluation period there is a common decision that it's better to change the platform, then they can still do it, and also the budget. And regarding the registration application, it will be done through an online form, and the event will be free of charge for delegates, so it is more accessible to delegates. Regarding the voting rights, what we normally have is we have 3 categories of MOs, so active MOs, inactive MOs, and candidate MOs, and only active MOs have the right to vote. Now what we would like to suggest is adding a 4th category, which is candidate voting MOs. They will have the right to vote exclusively during the online sessions of the GA, and they like candidates MOs become candidates voting MOs after attending one online event, which is the same thing as the active MOs. So normally we have that after attending one event, you become an active MO, you have the right to vote. Here it will be you become candidates voting MO after one online event, and these candidates voting MOs become active MOs at the first meeting of the live event they attend. The reason behind this is if we make all the MOs that attend the online symposium automatically become active MOs, then there will be problems with reaching the quorum in the live event. So the idea is that during the online symposium, they will have the voting rights, but for the live event, they need to attend it to acquire the voting rights. If not, they are not being accounted for in the quorum. So the quorum for the online symposium will be 40% of active MOs and candidate voting MOs, and for the Congress, it will stay 40% of active MOs. Regarding the finances, we use the budget of the previous year, of this year that's represented in Denmark for this year, and we tried removing from the symposium expenses to see what the impact would be on the budget. And according to the budget of this year, an approximate of 5,346 euros would be saved from the budget. So this money can actually be allocated for travel grants and for internet support projects, which would allow to have more participation in the Congress as well. Regarding the development fund, we all know that during live events, we have the selling of the merchandise and the auctions that raise funds for the development fund. Sorry. So the idea is that if we are having one less live event, we need to work more on the online fundraising through social media challenges, peer-to-peer fundraising, and also to provide some exclusive online workshops that are being paid for and in which the money goes to the development fund. We have already started working on the donor box for the development fund, which allows to make the donation online, to choose the specific projects members want to donate for and everything. So we would like to work more on this to make it a sustainable way for the development fund to have to receive funding. And for the internet support project, we calculated based on we calculated the amount of internet that is needed for an online event, which was 75 gigabytes worth of internet connection. And we used this calculation to have an estimate of the budget that would be needed for the internet support project. So the idea behind the internet support project is to provide internet connection for members from countries that struggle with it, so that they can attend the online symposium and be able to participate in it if their issue was the internet connection. And this will be, of course, open for the DF beneficiary countries. We tried doing the calculations for 15 slots, 20 spots, and 25 spots. And the criteria of selection will be based on the engagement of the members within the MO and on a global level, the motivation to attend the event, the previous attended events, the financial situation of the members, and the internet accessibility in their country, as well as the history of previous development fund support. Regarding the evaluation timeline, so now we are hoping to approve this structure meeting here in Peru. And next year we will still have a symposium. However, on 2026, we will start the evaluation period. So the 74th symposium shall happen online in 2026. There will be a regular forum to evaluate it right after the event, as we always do. And then we will have a congress with a regular evaluation. We will have our second online symposium with also an online regular evaluation after the event, another congress, and then the final symposium that is taking place after 2 full online events, in which the evaluation period is taking end and in which the GA will make a decision regarding if we should adopt the structure permanently or not. And in this GA, there will be, it will evaluate the whole structure, not only one of the events. So it will take into account the different regular evaluation forms that we had, as well as feedback of members regarding their feelings of inclusion, their participation in both online and live events for just one category, the areas of structural improvement to apply the potential new changes to the upcoming events. And regarding the GA evaluation that is happening after the end of the evaluation period, it is when the GA will make a final decision on whether they are adopting the online structure permanently or not, through reviewing the previous responses from each event evaluation form and launching a survey at least 4 months before that event to gather member inputs and also organize focus group discussions once the survey is closed. And this is the aspects that will be considered. The MO's attendance. So we will need to take into account the number of MOs attending an IVSA event for the first time since the structural change, excluding the new MOs. Because of course, if we approve some MOs next, during the evaluation period, and they attend an event, it doesn't make sense to take into account that it was the change of structure that really affected that. So it is the number of MOs attending an IVSA event for the first time since the structural change. The number of MOs attending only online events, including those who attended the project SGAs and the new online symposium. The number of new MOs that were approved after this congress that are only attending the online symposium. The number of MOs not attending due to the transition from live to online over 3 events and their inability to attend live congresses. And the number of MOs attending only live congresses during the evaluation period, as well as how far close is the MO's attendance from the objective of 40% for the year. We will also have the feedback system, evaluate the feedback system. So if the points of improvements proposed by delegates were taken into consideration throughout the duration of the evaluation period, if the structure improving, is the structure improving or is the overall experience of member getting better? And also we need to evaluate the development fund after the change of structure. So if the online fundraising activities are effective, and how is the budget of the development fund evolving? Did it stay stable or did it get worse? And there will be the topics that will be evaluated in the survey and the evaluation form, taking into account the attendance of the event, the evaluation of the technical setup, the evaluation of the GA, the evaluation of the social activities during online events, the evaluation of the engagement during online events, as well as the overall experience. So if the points of improvement for the whole structure are being taken into account, if there were any improvements that were done after the previous evaluation form. Regarding the bylaws, I will be just explaining this now, but we have a different, we will be discussing the bylaws in detail in a different GA. so they're not for today. But mainly, if we are adopting the online structure, we need to have some bylaw amendments. So we will need to add the candidates voting panels to our structure, since currently our structure we only have 3 categories of panels. We will need to change the way the quorum is calculated for the online symposia, since it will be 40% voting active panels and candidates voting panels. And we will need to discuss the reimbursements, because since now the officials are being reimbursed in general for the symposium as well, we need to remove this part. And for the trust budget, since they have a budget for 2 live events, like we can talk about reducing it, since we only have 1 live event. There is also bylaw amendments about the live expo meetings, since now we are having 1 less live expo meeting, since 1 expo meeting happens during the symposium, and the event period, which is from late December to start of March, over 3 weeks. This is some important topics to consider for this proposal. So, as IVSA is growing, reaching quorum is becoming more and more challenging for us, and the online symposium will allow us to reach the quorum then, and give the opportunity to panels with less funds and visa requirements to better prepare for the only live events per year, which is the Congress. Regarding the financial constraints and visa limitations, since having an online symposium would mean that we will have savings in our budget, this can be allocated for travel grants for the live Congress, and also the team of officials can focus on attaining sponsorship for the only live events we are having, and then increasing the number of members we can have in a live event. We will also be able to open the applications for the Congress earlier, and then allow members that need visas to have enough time to start their visa applications and get their visas on time. Because this is an issue that we struggle with a lot. Like even for here, we had delegates from IVSA Tunisia that was supposed to come, but that unfortunately didn't get his visa on time. And we had this happening in many other events. Visas were ranked as the first issue for the development fund beneficiary countries, which are usually the countries that require visas everywhere. And regarding the workload of officials, as we are constantly growing, the workload becomes bigger and bigger for the team of officials, especially for the MOD team and the MOD in general, especially that we currently are having also the organization of the regional events. And with how it is now and how it keeps evolving, we would soon need to have 2 MODs if we want someone to be able to handle the workload that we have. So if we are having only 1 live event and 1 online event, this would allow us to have a balance, because then the MOD team will only have 1 live event to focus on and 1 online event, which requires not less organization, but it requires less logistical organization in comparison with the live event, so it will be more manageable for the MOD team to handle it. This was all regarding my presentation. I would like to thank you all for your attention. And first of all, I would like to know if you have any questions regarding this presentation before we open the proper discussion. So now, if you have just questions and you would like to understand something.
Currently there, IVSA friends with number 3. So I listened to the presentation, maybe I understood wrong, but at the beginning you were talking about hybrid events proposal, and then there was no explanation, I don't know.
I'll just say that this is more COVID number 71. So basically, in Italy, we discussed the 3 proposals and we had a vote. Most needs to focus on for the second half of the term. The vote was 63.4%, if I'm not mistaken, for the online symposium, which was a majority vote. So then the task force was for the online symposium for the second half of the term. Are there any?
My affiliate, IVSA USA, bidding number 89. In the proposal, you mentioned something about being able to open the applications earlier, and I'm kind of confused about what opening applications has to do with like only having one event. Like, I don't really, it may just be my confusion from not knowing like the process you guys have behind things, but like, what's stopping you from opening applications earlier, even with the way that things are set up now?
So as we could better say the IVSA Morocco within number 71. So when we are having two live events, this means that we basically have 3 to 4 months before each event to, like, when we open them, the maximum we can open them early is like 3 months, 4 months. I don't think we ever have 4 months before, it's usually 3 months before the event, until 4 months because we cannot open them early. Organizing the symposium that is live. With basically about the workload of officials, the workload of the OCs, and the officials are more focusing on the upcoming online live event that is coming. So they are like, if we are, for example, in December, they are focused on the live event that is coming. So it is not possible to open the applications at the same time as the event that is happening. However, if we are having one online symposium and one live congress, it will allow us to open applications because then we are not having the same issues we usually face with reaching the forum for live events and all the preparations that are required for live events. Because for us to be here today, it needs a lot of preparation, a lot of meetings that the MOD team are having with the OC to check that everything is fine, a lot of discussion between the exco members, officials, and everyone. So it's not an easy process. And as I said, the workload keeps increasing over the years, especially now that we have the regional events as well happening. So having two live events is becoming less and less manageable.
Lauren Winker, IVSA USA, bidding number 8. I had a question about why you guys decided to make this a trial period where you're going to have an evaluation in 2028 or 2029. I have to look back at the slide, but you're making changes to the bylaws now when that would require redoing bylaws and changing bylaws again. So it's actually making a permanent change rather than just a temporary change.
Agent Safety, IVSA Morocco. Agent Safety, IVSA Morocco, meeting number 7. The bylaws, we will be having a chair resolution that will state that the bylaws will be temporary and they will be only for the duration of the evaluation period. And that after that, once the change is permanent or not, there needs to be another approval of these bylaws. But as there will be now, we will be having a chair resolution to state that this change is only temporary and only taken into account during the evaluation period.
Michelle Bergman, IVSA USA, bidding number 45. I was wondering if you had any information or projections specifically on how this online format would affect the development fund and its finances, and whether, like, if you have any specific projected data that might show us how much money we have in the development fund in the future to help underrepresented countries get to libraries.
IVSA Morocco within number 71. So basically, the data we currently have is from the investors, how much money the BAD is earning during the two events. But like previously, we didn't have this online fundraising as being something that was really active within the IVSA. And this is what we tried to start with since creating the donor box. And this is mainly why we are putting these points into the evaluation period, because to the evaluation guidelines. Because yes, we are proposing that we have some ideas for the online fundraising, how this can be improved. We have a platform that can be used. We have everything for it. However, we still need to evaluate it during the evaluation period, and that's why we are having this evaluation period, because we need to give it a try for the inclusivity of our association, to see how it works, to try to improve it, and then to see how to move forward with our procedure.
Sophia Torres, IVSA USA, meeting number 83. I just had a question. I know in the proposal reason it would not be held like during the week as most held live versus like online for the weekend.
Hajar Saidi, IVSA Morocco, meeting number 71. So the idea that the first thing is that we were trying to build on the experiences we already had with the online SGAs, and we thought that it would be the best way to proceed because usually when you are not attending university for some, like you are not attending university, if you have it right now, it's usually because you already tell your university that you are attending an event somewhere else. We do not think that universities will like accept it more. Like if you tell them are attending an online event for the whole week, we will not attend the university. This will probably pose some problems for our members. So we thought it would be better to have them during the weekends. However, this is a point that we can still discuss further on in the discussion. We can gather inputs regarding how you think the itinerary could be maybe improved if you have some inputs regarding it. So we can keep this point as the discussion, we can discuss it there, and we can have all of you can let us know if you think there would be another way to manage the itinerary better. Art?
Bart Wilson, IVSA Netherlands, bidding number 63. I have a question about the MO representation that you mentioned earlier, because it said that you had like the numbers for MOs attending. Was that like during the first roll call, or was it over the entire event, like the presence of all MOs? We kind of see some, MOs not showing up for every GA, and therefore quorum might go up and down a bit. And in that trend, how do you plan to tackle that problem with the 3 consecutive weekends?
So the data we have is from the past events, it mentions for the whole event. However, since we during the online events we had this issue of not being sure how to make sure that the MOs are like still attending, there was the OAC, so the online attending committee that was involved in it. We have a whole manual about it, and we have a section about it on how to tackle better. A committee of 4 people, 1 trust, 1 exco, 1 secretary, and 1 member of the OC that will be in charge of all the technical setups and making sure that the quorum can be maintained during the whole duration of the event.
Hi, Alejandra Vargas, IVSA Peru, rating number 105. I have a question. How are you going to ensure the active participation of members while these online events? Because in pandemic, we have seen that during our classes at least, we haven't been there most of the time because we can see the recordings later or things like that. So with this previous experience, how are you going to ensure that they are going to be paying attention like us during the DAs live? Thanks.
Hajar Saidi, IVSA Morocco, bidding number 71. So the issue of members not being as involved are trying to find solutions for. Of course, if a member is not interested, they will not be interested. They can also not be interested in a live event. Like even if I see you here, you're looking at me and you're paying attention. If you're not interested and you don't have the will to be interested, you can just listen passively. So this is on the members to be involved. We are trying to do some activities
Bidding number 34. I was wondering referring to the development fund for the online events, if the task force has considered open an online shops for selling merch during the time of the online symposium, in order to let students, all the students participating, have a real and concrete memory of the symposium they attended, even if it's online.
Based in Morocco, in number 71. So the idea of being able to sell merchandise online has been an ongoing topic within IVSA since many years ago, even without this idea being brought up. However, there is many constraints because you need them to be able to ship the merchandise everywhere around the world. Of course, this is still a thing that can be considered. I'm not saying it's impossible at all, but currently we couldn't do much about it because we tried looking at it. We don't see many options for it now, but of course, if there are any members that have some options that would like to propose some things, we can always check these things.
Lauren Winker, IVSA USA, bidding number 8. Because I think, at least if I understand it correctly, the whole idea of moving one of our events from in person or live into a or online event was to increase the representation at existing live events or the remaining live event. However, it seems like you guys are creating a whole new category of MOs just to bypass the fact that those MOs will no longer be able to make it to live events. So it's not actually addressing the fact that those MOs can't make it to live events, if that makes sense. Like we're changing and trying to get more MOs to our live events.
Address CD, IVSA Morocco, bidding number 71. So this is actually just a way to proceed because we know that we are trying to, the whole idea behind is to be able to get MOs, attend the online symposium because it is more accessible, and to work on making MOs attend the live events as well because it's important. Everyone knows that the live events are important, everyone wants to work towards it, but if you are having 2 live events, it is more complicated to focus all the efforts on it and to make the attendance better. So by doing one event, we are trying to do this. However, there is still some constraints that can happen throughout the evaluation period. So for us not to avoid having events in which the quorum is not met, we are proposing to have different quorum for the online symposium and different quorum for the live symposium. And this is not just to be able to say, okay, these MOs do not have the same voting rights. They do have the same voting rights in the online symposium, and as soon as they attend the live events, they acquire their voting rights at the first meeting of the session. So they will be equal to the other MOs. But for us not to risk the MOs and not make it to the live event, we would like to keep it. And also, even with the funds, sometimes the visa problems persist. So we would just like to have a safe way to proceed.
Peter Emil Pedersen, MO, IVSA in Denmark, bidding number 16. I think at least the is that we currently don't have represented.
Hello, Tessa Verdijnen, IVSA Exco, bidding number 27. I would like to quickly explain the different MOs we have because I think that's part of the confusion.
This is a bit out of order, so the chair will now entertain a motion to go into
Anastasia, IVSA Morocco, bidding number 71. So the first part was us just responding to the questions. If we want to go to a discussion, we need to have a motion on the floor for this. So I will make a motion right now to move to the discussion. To move forward the discussion, the motion will need to be approved with this. However, we are not voting today, so even if you are just to open the discussion for it, so don't worry, I'm not gonna tell you we need to vote. So the motion is, I move to approve the online proposal. Is there any discussion? No.
The chair.
And then what do you say? Is there any discussion regarding this?
Tessa van Duinen, IVSA Exco bidding number 27. I would like to explain in presentation. We have active MOs, we have inactive MOs, and we have candidate MOs. Active MOs are the MOs who have paid a membership fee, and also MOs who have been to an entire session of the General Assembly before. That is done because if we have about 70 MOs, but if all of those MOs would count for quorum, we would never reach the 40%. So we need to make sure that quorum is reasonable. That's why we want to have MOs for the quorum who have been at a General Assembly before, so they have made it to the event, and also shows that they have had in the effort. So it's combined. They are able to go, but also they are shown the motivation to go. Then we have the inactive MOs. Those are MOs who did not pay their membership fee, but have attended one of these events before. If they pay their membership fee, they will be an active MO. Then we have the candidate membership MOs, candidate membership member organizations. Those are MOs who have not been to a general session of the General Assembly before, for whatever reason, be it that they were not able to go or that they did not have time. That can be a combination, can be any of those. However, if the reason was they were not able to write in an online event, because it would be a bit sad that they can never rights even if they attend online because they live event. However, if we are accepting everybody who goes to an online event as active MO, and we decide to not continue this system, then we will have made how high quorum needs to be way more difficult to reach, because maybe say we have 10 or 15 countries that are at the moment candidates. They go to an online GA, so they become active MOs. That means that quorum is at 3 MOs present higher, which can be difficult to reach. So they have made the separate group for MOs that have voting rights when they are online to make sure that we have of the people present at a live event that we still can reach that quorum, even if we decide not to continue with online MOs, online events. I hope this explains it a bit.
We are now in the discussion and ready. More?
Felix.
Oh, sorry, Felix.
Felix Metzger. As you know, today was a document sent to you on behalf of the SPC talking about specific aspects that were raised about the SPC and answering on comments and also like providing more information on different aspects of this Congress. However, I would like to read out a message sent by the chair of the Strategic Planning Committee, Mehdi Abrani, who's also watching right now. So hi, Mehdi.
Is everybody okay with me? No.
Thank you. So Felix Metzger, IVSA Expo, bidding number 37. On behalf of the IVSA Strategic Planning Committee, we would like to provide some more information about the recent document that was just sent earlier today. The document is a report on the comments that were raised about the proposed strategy and action plan. In that document, the most pointed points were addressed, mostly pertaining to a few specific projects that were planned regarding policymaking, the future of IVSA networks, the CC workload within the strategic action plan, And the comments made to us about the strategic action plans provisioning regarding events, especially the dynamic of having two proposals that are seemingly at odds with each other. On that note, we wish to clarify that the SPC, though it had numerous comments about the EIT's online symposium proposal, acknowledges the work that has been put in by the EIT and wishes to showcase its appreciation of its efforts in service of the IVSA and the improvement of its events. To that effect, we wish to present our sincere apologies to the complete IVSA team of officials, to the delegates of the IVSA Congress in Peru, as well as the EIT for the timeline and the delays in finalizing the document. The SPC for a few months was severely understaffed with affected speech at which the project was finalized. In addition to the very considerable complexity and process, the sheer amount of information and the rigor which has defined the work of the SPC. As such, we recognize that the documents sent to the delegates, officials and IVSA members contain a significant amount of information, much of it complex or even new. Therefore, we wish to also, in the spirit of fairness, recognize that the EIT has not had the time to integrate all of the SPC's responses to their comments. We urge delegates of the Congress in Peru to keep that in mind, and we also urge all delegates and officials to go through all the documents, including the IVSA Strategic Action Plan, the SPC summary response you just received today, as well as all documents relevant to the online events proposal. Finally, we remain committed to working closely with the results of the EIT and a team of officials and make sure that our efforts are joined so that both proposals integrate all necessary information to provide the IVSA General Assembly.
Out of order. We're not talking about this. We're talking about the online proposal. You're not even mentioning it. Sorry.
So basically,
we're talking about the strategic plan, and that's not the point of.
Like first, you need to get the mic.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have the mic.
Where's the mic, Susana? Behind you.
Susana Salvatore. Susana Salvatore. It's not worth playing. Sorry. Susana Salvatore, IVSA Expo meeting number 90. I think that this message is out of order because it's not talking about the online proposal, and the discussion right now is specifically about the online proposal. It's talking about the SPC and its commitment and the relationship that he had during the term with the EIT, and this is not part of the discussion right now.
Felix, do you want to?
Felix Metzger, IVSA Expo meeting number 47. In this text, it's also stated like in which way the document sent today is also addressing the EIT and the proposal itself, so it is relevant. However, my speech is already finished, so it's done anyway.
Okay, now it's done. We cannot take it back. Oh, wait.
Okay, now we're going to be sorry for this. Gauri.
Gabriela Grande, IVSA Italy, meeting number 69. 59. I'm asking the permission to read a message from Tunisia that was not able to attend the Congress.
Does anybody have anything against reading this statement? See, no?
So, this message is written by Hussein Belhed, sorry for my pronunciation, member of IVSA Tunisia and current IVSA MENA secretary. I was supposed to participate in the 73rd IVSA Congress in Lima to represent my MO and the MENA region. However, with sadness, I wasn't able to attend the event and last minute for several reasons, despite getting a reduced spot. So I'm writing to you briefly about what happened with me and to express my opinion about the difficulties that a member from a low privileged country can country. For my case, the visa is needed to enter Peru. And since in Tunisia, we don't have a Peruvian embassy, I should apply the nearest embassy, which is in Algeria. As a consequence, the visa process takes more time than expected, so I get it finally a few days before the beginning of the Congress. And at that time, the cost of the flights was extremely expensive, more than 2,000 euros. And some affordable ones were with more than one stopover, and in that case, I should have transit visa, which was impossible to get at that time. Another reason for that fact was the low budget from IMO and the sponsors' absence. For me, I had the privilege of attending and representing my region in the last IVSA Congress held in Copenhagen. But many members struggled a lot to take part in the Congress, and has been confirmed with poor participation of the MENA region in Lima. And in order to contribute to the IVSA Event Inclusivity Task Force, I want to comment on how we can enhance the participation of less privileged countries, especially for MENA and Sub-Saharan Africa regions. Firstly, we have no doubt that the organizing committee made a great effort every year, although I think that opening Congress's registration in advance can allow members to have more time to prepare for the visa process. Secondly, I joined the proposal to move the symposium online because a live event always needs a huge budget. So IVSA can make savings from the symposium that can be used in the Congress. Hence, more IVSA grants can be provided. Globally, even though there are members who encounter visa restrictions, I think that they struggle mostly with financial issues. For IVSA Tunisia, for example, we didn't get a sponsor contribution for Congress participation in the last 6 years. Finally, we should keep contributing more to this inclusivity task force to guarantee the improvement of the participation of all regions in IVSA events. I hope that you are all going to be right and wish you all the success in the current IVSA Congress in Peru. You're all going to be missed so best.
Thank you, Gabriel. Anybody else?
Susanna Salvatori, IVSA co-meeting number 90. I would just like to remind the GA to keep it to 2 minutes. The discussion is 2 minutes, okay?
Thank you, Susanna. Anybody else? Lauren?
I guess, Lauren Winker, IVSA USA, bidding number 8. I think what we were talking about earlier, Felix was bringing up some issues from the strategic planning committee, and then this is specifically about the proposal of our online events. It seems like a lot of these things should all be taken into consideration before there is a vote. So I was wondering if we're able to table this this vote until after we've had a chance to vote on all or talk about all other parts of this.
So even though we have the motion on the floor to vote, we are not planning to vote today. We are opening the discussion so we can hear all the points of views, and we will be voting in GA4 for it. So we will have enough time to go through everything, to discuss it with you MOs, and to also discuss it with other delegates.
I would just remind you that there will be, again, the discussion open in GA4. It's not like we're going to come and vote. Marina? I just go first. I just want to say that first.
IVSA Germany, bidding number 9. What I'm missing in the proposal is a specific plan for the Congress. A specific plan for the Congress as well. Like the proposal, what was voted on was the online symposium and live Congress. So this kind of includes the Congress, and I don't really see a specific plan of action for the Congress, like there is stated that we can open applications earlier, but, and that we save money that we can use for travel grants, but like as we also discussed in the, we're talking about in the inclusivity discussions, 5 travel grant won't make a big difference in inclusivity, like, and we probably won't even have 5 travel grants if we take some of the money for internet data and may have a decrease of the DF found. So, and also, the EIT stated that quorum is a common problem to reach. So I'm missing more specific actions for reaching the quorum as Congress as a live event as well. So we don't only provide inclusivity at the symposium, but also on the Congress, as the Congress is the event, the even bigger event with more decisions. And when we only have inclusivity and represented countries at the symposium, that doesn't really provide an equal say for all of us, in my opinion.
Okay, another thing, I'm having my phone in the hand because I'm writing down the points you're saying, so in case I need to say that I have. I think,
Aaron Ko, IVSA China, bidding number 76. So concerning having this.
Choose that one off, and then use this.
So concerning having the symposium online, what is the opinion of the Expo committee?
Tessa van Dijnen, IVSA Exco bidding number 27. For the online proposal, we had Exco approval.
Ms. Gala, IVSA Exco, point of information, can the votes be, like a count of the vote be declared to the delegates, please?
Okay, wait, I need to repeat. So it was just asked if the votes can be specified, meaning that you know exactly how many people voted for which option. Like how many were in favor, how many were against, and how many abstained. That was it. Now Tessa will tell you like exactly.
Tessa van Dijnen, IVSA Exco bidding number 27. For the vote, we had 6 votes for. In favor, we had 0 abstains and 1 vote against because there were 7 Exco present when we did the vote.
Giacomo Filippini, I would say Italy, bidding number 34. I would like to know the trust opinion on this matter.
Just the IVSA Morocco, bidding number 71. So regarding the trust opinion, it's in favor of the adoption of the online proposal.
Okay, anybody else has, so now is the time for discussion. You can even express your opinions, how you feel about things, what your concerns. Sue?
Jesus Hernandez, IVSA USA, bidding number 66. Am I allowed to speak on behalf of someone that's not here?
Anybody is objecting to this?
Right. I just want to preface that this is this person's opinion, not my opinion, so I'm just lending my voice. So this person is John Jan. IVSA is constantly evolving and expanding its...
Yeah, could you please fix the mic?
Okay, this is better. Okay, all right. IVSA is constantly evolving and expanding. It's imperative that we consider the benefits of embracing the online approach to foster a more inclusive association. As we consider the future of our events, he can help but reflect on the deeply personal impact of embracing the online proposal. For him, it's about inclusivity and fostering connections. He has experienced first-hand challenges of being unable to attend events due to barriers such as visa constraints and limited funds, and he knows many others face similar obstacles. From his personal standpoint, of his first ever GA was during the 70th IVSA SGA. He got the opportunity to listen to how decisions are made in our association and how GAs are run. It was an experience he had never before even thought. He had been a member for IVS, he had been a member for 2 years. The point he is trying to make is to let's not rule it off because we are going to have one less live meeting, but rather let's consider our fellow members from regions like where he's from and that haven't had the chance to attend any session of the GA, and that it would mean to them if this is adopted. As someone who values inclusivity, he wanted to be involved in this task force since its goals had his MO at the forefront. We sought out to intensively discuss and examine ways of improving attendance at events. By adopting the online approach, we have the power to break down barriers that members face and create space where everyone, regardless of location, can participate and contribute. This shift is not just about logistics, it's about making a profound difference in the lives of our fellow colleagues. Let's give us this approach a chance as it will provide equal representation of all our member organizations. That's all.
Anybody else? Yeah. Okay, sorry, Michelle.
Michelle Bergman, IVSA USA, bidding number 45. I just wanted to ask a question about this proposal. I was wondering, with the online events week proposal, it was mentioned they would tailor the itinerary or the agenda for those GA meetings to specifically avoid lengthy discussions because our time would be limited. Is there concern that the MOs that will be included in that discussion won't be able to contribute to things that might be more important that would require lengthier discussions in Congress?
As I said, this Morocco within number 71, I was taking this opportunity to respond to two of the previous concerns that were raised. So regarding the first one, which was the fact that the online proposal is not focusing on the live content that is taking as well as the online symposium in this proposal. The main idea why it's not focusing on the last is because this is the main change that is happening. This is where we are having changes in how the voting is happening, in how the setup is, in how the hosting will change and everything. And we are still talking about how the online symposium will impact the live congress. So the fact that we'll be saving some money on our budget has been allocated for the travel grants, the fact that the workload of officials will be less and thus we can focus more on the only live events we have and give us more time for attention. The fact that the applications can be opened earlier, which will allow the animals that struggle with visas to obtain their visas. And we are treating the impacts that the online symposium will have on the live congress. Regarding the question that was raised by the previous speaker, I do agree that, of course, we have an itinerary, but sometimes we can run out of time. This is not ideal. We will try to, if you can check the itinerary, it is literally the last 2 hours. So normally we should be able to still not run out of time a lot. However, this is the kind of stuff that is unpredictable, that happens in live events, online events, that happens like in my other type of events. We will just be committed to trying to avoid the problems we are having by being more prepared for the events, by trying to avoid this kind of circumstances. We cannot assure 100% that no technical problem will happen at all, that no issue will happen at all, because this kind of stuff happens even in live events. This is just the reality of how we function in the organization and everything. We will be committed to trying to make it work better. And just I need you all to remember, this is why we want to try it. This is why we want to try it. We want to have an evaluation period. It's not a final decision. It's just to give it a try and to give the MO that don't have a voice the opportunity to have a voice during the general assembly.
I now starting to start. So, A. Oh, sorry, sorry.
In Peru, IVSA Germany, building number 62. I want to talk about social activities because I just noticed that they would be really short during this online events. I mean, they're a big part of live events and 30 minutes each day, in total 2.5 hours. Definitely wouldn't be enough time to make into real conversations, I guess. And probably if JAs would take more time, there will be even less time for those conversations. Also, for casual events, read that there wouldn't be enough time because there and if you just meet 3 or 4 other countries in 10 minutes, I think it's not comparable to how it works now, and you wouldn't really have the chance to get to know the other cultures. And I think there was also planning that Discord would be a medium for taking part of social activities. And I think countries like China, Egypt, or Iran wouldn't be able to join because it's not possible to use it in the countries. Yeah, thank you.
IVSA Morocco, video number 71. Regarding the fact that the online events have less support, this is, as I said, it is not in the this one. So regarding the fact that live events have less social interaction, this is the truth. We are trying to work on it. However, we need to be aware that we are not here gathering only for the fun. In fact, the most important thing is that we are making decisions. We are having the General Assembly in which we are electing our new officials, in which we are voting on important things. And IVSA is, of course, also about fun, because we can always have fun with exchanges, to organize many other things. Us not giving the chance to the animals that want to participate in the decision making of IVSA just because we want to have the full fun experience is unfair. And the fact that we are not ignoring this, we are acknowledging the fact that the online event has less social interaction. We are trying to work on it, we are trying to make it the most enjoyable that it can, but the most important thing is that we are having the General Assembly in which we are making decisions that are important for our organization, and we need to include all our members from the different scales in the decision making from our organization.
Thank you. Oh, I will just ask you when you're raising hands, because if you do not fully raise it, I will not see you. And I will ask somebody in the back. Yeah.
Jiwon Kim, IVSA South Korea, bidding number. I think for the Asian countries, the time zone is probably the biggest concern for us, and we appreciate that you are considering it as much as possible. But I was wondering if it's a possibility to maybe change or start the starting time a bit earlier, if that's a possibility.
IVSA Morocco, with the number 71. Of course, this is a concern that we are having. We try to adjust this because we also have the Americas on the other side that is having an opposite time zone. So this is the time zone that we thought of proposing. However, it is up for discussion. If you can provide for us a time that would work better for the region, we can try to check it with the other countries of the Americas, see how it works, and try to find a compromise if it's possible. But the reason why we chose this one is because it's the one in the middle, because we do have two regions that are on the opposite side of the world.
The chair will now entertain a motion to go into 10-minute break. Because I've been told that we want to do that. William?
Lorraine Schilling, IVSA Germany, bidding number 60. I so move.
Is there any discussion? Oh, wait.
Guys.
We cannot go into this. Is there any discussion regarding this? Any objection? Run! Go! Can we see? You want to continue the discussion?
Tengo papitas, ¿quieren papitas? Una mucho, una mucho. Aquí esperan mucho. Tengo que pasar a... Para el título. No abiertos.
But I personally recommend everybody to do that. Guys, can we? Okay, I hope that everybody is here. I got some questions during the break regarding the voting and things. So I will just explain it right now for what we're doing for the topic that we are now on, because I'm not sure if it's clear, and then I will explain it again something later when we are doing the network problems later. So first, why did we put a motion on the floor is to be able to have a discussion. We usually, when we have a motion on the floor, we are moving for a vote, but that's not the plan. If you look at the GA agenda in GA4, there is a GA agenda points to vote on the event specific proposal. So, and that's going to be like 2 days or 3, I'm not sure. 2 in 2 days. So the idea is that we will have some more discussion now, and then we will move to table this topic, and then we will untable it later on. That's the goal. So you, that's the first thing. The second thing is, since there are 2 very important topics today still, we will of course open the floor for more discussion and everything, but if I see that it's going in a circle, we are then going to table it, because since our order of the agenda for today are for sure what involved with the GA after we are not going to keep that in mind. Like, it's not possible to not do that today. Yes.
Gunavardhana, IVSA Germany, bidding
Yeah,
number
we'll
9.
open the floor again for this.
For discussion, not only
Yes.
for vote. Thank you.
Yeah, we are not going to, next time we open this topic, just immediately go for a vote. Because we want to give you days to discuss things, and then bring your concern forward. There is now a box of water there, in case you want to refill the water. With all that being said, I will now hold this meeting back on order at 4:30 UTC minus 5. And I will immediately entertain a motion. The chair will now entertain the motion to step at least for 10 minutes. Amish?
Amisdala, IVSA squad so move.
Is there any discussion regarding this? Any objections? We are now extended east. The point is we cannot go out, discuss things with your bodies, or between yourselves. raise your hand like this, and then if you see more people around you doing this, you also raise it, and people will, it's time to be quiet. It's a hand sign. I don't know how to do it. Apparently, it's a hard sign. I just do this. But I'm also, I'm not a Gen Z, I'm a millennial. So, I'd like to okay. The idea is we have a bit more of discussion now, then we will do a one pass energizer before, and then, yeah, so we are going to have a little more discussion now, then we will go to postpone the topic to later on, so we are not voting on it, and then after our energizer, we are going to the reports. Just so you have an idea how this will be done. So now I'd like to call this meeting back to an order at 4:33 p.m. UTC -5. So, as the motion on the floor is still the approval of online proposal, so is there any discussion, any more discussion? Yeah.
Peter Emil Pedersen, MO IVS Denmark, IVSA Denmark, sorry, bidding number 16. It's been mentioned repeatedly that the most important part of the IVSA Congress is the General Assembly. I would like to slightly challenge this view, stating that the General Assembly is key in the functioning of the IVSA body outside of the symposiums and the congresses and all the other live events we're having. But another key element in IVSA, as far as I'm concerned, and especially with regards to recruiting new members, is all of the socializing, the networking, the cultures, all of these things we experience together, all of these relations we build. This, I believe, is going to be super hard to replicate online. I've also further asked for evaluations on what